The unification of Japan during the 15th and 16th centuries is a remarkable chapter in the country's history, marked by the efforts of three prominent figures: Oda Nobunaga, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, and Tokugawa Ieyasu. These three unification heroes played pivotal roles in transforming a fragmented and war-torn land into a unified nation under a central government. Their combined efforts laid the foundation for the long-lasting peace and stability of the Edo period. Understanding their individual contributions and the complex interplay of their actions provides a comprehensive view of this transformative era in Japanese history. Oda Nobunaga, born in 1534, was the first of the three unification heroes to emerge. He was the son of a minor daimyo, but his ambition and strategic acumen quickly set him apart. Nobunaga began his military career in a period known as the Sengoku, or Warring States period, characterized by constant conflict among rival feudal lords. In 1551, Nobunaga succeeded his father as the head of the Oda clan, and he soon embarked on a series of military campaigns to expand his influence. Nobunaga's most significant early victory came in 1560 at the Battle of Okazama, where his outnumbered forces defeated the much larger army of Imagawa Yoshimoto. This victory not only solidified Nobunaga's reputation as a brilliant military strategist, but also enabled him to expand his territory rapidly. He continued to consolidate power by forming alliances and subduing rival clans. By 1568, Nobunaga had captured Kyoto, the imperial capital, signaling his intent to unify Japan. Nobunaga was known for his innovative use of firearms, which he integrated into his military tactics more effectively than any of his contemporaries. His army's use of arquebuses at the Battle of Nagashino in 1575 is particularly notable. This battle saw Nobunaga's forces decimate the cavalry of the Takeda clan, a victory that demonstrated the effectiveness of his military strategies and the technological advancements he embraced. In addition to his military prowess, Nobunaga implemented significant administrative reforms aimed at centralizing power. He encouraged trade, reduced the influence of Buddhist monasteries which had become powerful political entities, and promoted the arts and culture. Nobunaga's policies laid the groundwork for the eventual unification of Japan, although he did not live to see it completed. In 1582, he was betrayed by one of his own generals, Eki Mitsuhide, and met his end at the Anoji incident. Following Nobunaga's death, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, one of Nobunaga's most trusted generals, swiftly moved to avenge his fallen lord and continue the unification efforts. Born to a peasant family in 1537, Hideyoshi's rise to power is a testament to his extraordinary talent and ambition. After avenging Nobunaga by defeating Akechi Mitsuhide at the Battle of Yamazaki, Hideyoshi consolidated his power and embarked on a series of campaigns to bring the remaining independent daimyo under his control. Hideyoshi's approach to unification was marked by both military conquest and diplomacy. He skillfully negotiated alliances and marriages to secure the loyalty of powerful daimyo, while also demonstrating his military might when necessary. By 1590, after the siege of Odawara, Hideyoshi had effectively unified Japan, bringing the last major holdout, the Hojo clan, into submission. Hideyoshi implemented several key policies to strengthen his rule and ensure the stability of his newly unified realm. One of his most significant reforms was the establishment of a rigid social hierarchy, which classified people into distinct classes: samurai, farmers, artisans, and merchants. And this system aimed to prevent social mobility and maintain order by ensuring that each class performed its designated role in society. Hideyoshi also conducted land surveys to standardize taxation and improve the efficiency of revenue collection. Another notable aspect of Hideyoshi's rule was his ambitious foreign policy. He sought to expand Japan's influence beyond its borders, launching invasions of Korea in 1592 and 1597. These campaigns, collectively known as the Injin War, ultimately ended in failure and drained Japan's resources. Nevertheless, they demonstrated Hideyoshi's ambition and vision of Japan as a significant regional power. Despite his achievements, Hideyoshi's efforts to establish a lasting dynasty were unsuccessful. His son and designated heir, Toyotomi Hideyori, was too young and inexperienced to consolidate power effectively after Hideyoshi's death in 1598. This power vacuum set the stage for the rise of the third unification hero, Tokugawa Ieyasu. Tokugawa Ieyasu, born in 1543, was initially an ally of both Nobunaga and Hideyoshi. He was a patient and shrewd strategist, often biding his time and carefully building his power base. Following Hideyoshi's death, Ieyasu emerged as a key contender for control of Japan. The decisive moment came in 1600 at the Battle of Sekigahara, where Ieyasu's forces defeated a coalition of rival daimyo led by Ishida Mitsunari. This victory effectively established Ieyasu as the most powerful daimyo in Japan. In 1603, Ieyasu was formally appointed as shogun by the emperor, marking the beginning of the Tokugawa shogunate, which would rule Japan for over 250 years. Ieyasu's governance was characterized by a careful balancing act between central authority and regional autonomy. He implemented a series of measures to consolidate power and ensure the stability of his regime. One of Ieyasu's key policies was the enforcement of the Senkin-Kotai system, which required daimyo to spend alternating years in the capital, Edo, modern-day Tokyo, and their home domains. This policy effectively served as a form of control, ensuring that daimyo remained loyal to the shogunate, while also reducing the likelihood of rebellion by keeping their families as de facto hostages in Edo. Ieyasu also promoted economic stability and growth by encouraging agricultural productivity, standardizing currency, and supporting infrastructure development. Trade, both domestic and international, flourished under his rule, contributing to the prosperity of the Tokugawa period. However, Ieyasu was cautious about foreign influence, particularly from European powers. He implemented policies that restricted foreign trade and contact, culminating in the Sakoku closed country policy, which severely limited foreign interaction and influence for over 2 centuries. The cultural and intellectual life of Japan also flourished during the Tokugawa shogunate. The period saw the development of a rich cultural heritage, including advancements in literature, theater, and the arts. The stability provided by the Tokugawa rule allowed for the growth of a vibrant urban culture, particularly in Edo, which became one of the largest cities in the world. Tokugawa Ieyasu's legacy was cemented by his careful planning for succession. He abdicated in favor of his son, Tokugawa Hidetada, but continued to wield significant influence as the retired shogun. This ensured a smooth transition of power and the continued dominance of the Tokugawa family. The combined efforts of Oda Nobunaga, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, and Tokugawa Ieyasu transformed Japan from a fragmented and war-torn land into a unified nation under a stable central government. Each of these unification heroes played a distinct role in this process. Nobunaga laid the groundwork with his military conquests and administrative reforms. Hideyoshi completed the unification through a blend of diplomacy and military prowess, and Ieyasu established a long-lasting and stable shogunate that ensured peace and prosperity for over 2 centuries. Their legacies are not only found in the political and military achievements but also in the cultural and social transformations that shaped Japan into a cohesive and resilient nation. The unification of Japan under these 3 leaders set the stage for the Tokugawa period, an era of relative peace and stability that allowed for significant cultural, economic, and social development. The impact of their actions is still felt in Japan today, making them truly worthy of the title unification heroes. Oda Nobunaga's contributions were foundational, as he introduced new military tactics and fostered an environment of innovation and reform. His open approach to foreign trade and technology, including the adoption of firearms, significantly altered the dynamics of warfare in Japan. Nobunaga's efforts to diminish the power of militant Buddhist sects and promote centralized control over the country were pivotal in setting the stage for unification. Toyotomi Hideyoshi's remarkable rise from humble beginnings to the heights of power underscores his exceptional leadership and strategic acumen. His ability to unify Japan through both military prowess and shrewd diplomacy was instrumental in completing the work that Nobunaga had started. Hideyoshi's reforms, including the establishment of a rigid social hierarchy and standardized taxation, were crucial in stabilizing the newly unified nation. Despite his failed attempts at foreign expansion, his domestic policies had a lasting impact on Japan's governance and societal structure. Tokugawa Ieyasu's establishment of the Tokugawa shogunate marked the culmination of the unification efforts. His victory at the Battle of Sekigahara and subsequent consolidation of power ensured that Japan would enjoy a prolonged period of peace and stability. Ieyasu's policies, such as the Senkan Kotai system and the Sakoku policy, maintained strict control over the daimyo and limited foreign influence, contributing to the stability and isolation of Japan during the Edo period. His careful planning for succession and governance established a framework that would last for over 2 centuries. The unification of Japan under these 3 leaders was a complex and multifaceted process that involved military conquests, strategic alliances, administrative reforms, and cultural transformations. The period of unification was marked by significant challenges, including internal conflicts, resistance from powerful clans, and the need to balance central authority with regional autonomy. However, the combined efforts of Oda Nobunaga, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, and Tokugawa Ieyasu ultimately succeeded in creating a unified and stable Japan. The legacies of these 3 unification heroes continue to influence Japan's cultural and historical identity. Their stories are celebrated in literature, theater, and popular culture, reflecting their enduring significance in Japanese history. The castles, temples, and artifacts from this period serve as tangible reminders of their impact and the transformative era they helped shape. In conclusion, the unification of Japan during the 15th and 16th centuries was a monumental achievement that transformed the country from a fragmented and war-torn land into a unified nation under a stable central government. The combined efforts of Oda Nobunaga, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, and Tokugawa Ieyasu were instrumental in this process, each contributing uniquely to the unification and stabilization of Japan. Their legacies continue to be felt in Japan today, making them truly deserving of the title unification heroes.